Good evening, students. Welcome to Mindworks. This is Deepanshu Agrawal. This is the second session of live assessments. Okay. This would be a short assessment of 5, 6 questions. Okay. So currently we have 5 questions of time and work. Right. These questions are of time and work. So this would be a topic-wise session in which I would be giving you some time to solve these 5 questions, and then after that, when the time is over, then I'll be telling you the answers, and then I'll also be solving the questions. Okay. So, as you can see, there are five questions on your screen. You would be getting 10 minutes for these 5 questions. Ideally, 2 minutes per question are more than enough in aptitude. Okay. All right. So, in total, you have 10 minutes to do these questions. You should have a pen and paper with you. Uh, okay. If you're watching it live, if you would be watching the recording of this session, so you should exactly follow the time that is given in the for the solution of these questions, right? So you should not pause your video. You should keep your video running, and you should exactly try to do it in 10 minutes. Okay. That's what live assessment means. Because if you pause the video, if you take extra time for that would not be that would not be an assessment. That would just be a regular practice or regular solving questions, right? So you have to have a time based thing that can assess you that how much you are able to perform in a time based test. Okay. So you have got 5 questions, 10 minutes. You can start now. It's 11:02, and we would end at 11:12. Okay. So start. Yeah, please start. Those who have just joined, let me tell you, this is a live assessment. You've got 5 questions in 10 minutes. 1 minute is already done. Okay. Try to solve as many questions as possible, and do not get stuck at any of the question, right? Do not waste maybe 4 5 minutes in just one question. If you're not able to get the answer within 2 or maybe 2.5 minutes, so then leave it and go to the next one. This is the way you should attempt your question paper in any of the question paper that you have. If there's any issue, you can send me on the comment section. You can express your issues in the comment section. If you have just joined, let me tell you that this is a live assessment in which 5 questions and 10 minutes would be given. for solving these five questions. And this is the time in which you have to solve the question, and the time will stop at 11:12. 5 minutes are done, students. Two minutes, students. Dear students, time's already up, but we can have 2 more extra minutes as I feel that you all must have not completed the given task. So just 2 more minutes, okay? Yeah. Those who have joined later, let me tell you that this is a live assessment going on, and uh, I have given 12 minutes in total for these 5 questions. Okay, so last 2 minutes are remaining. Only last 2 minutes are remaining. All right, students. So I think the the time is up. Okay, we shall start solving the questions. First of all, let me tell you the answers for these. Those who are watching the recording shall stop now if they have not taken a pause in between this stipulated time. Okay, so question number one, the answer has to be 4 days, right? I'm giving the answers for the questions. Yeah. So question number one, answer is 4 days. Question number two, answer is 13 days. Question number three, answer is 18 days. Question number four, answer is 15 hours. And question number five, answer is 14 hours. Okay, so these are the answers of the questions. Let me now give you the solutions. You can check how many have you got correct, right? So if you are preparing for a tough exam like CAT or CSAT um, or ZAT or any other tough aptitude exam of this level, so you need to do at least four of them, right? I would have expected that in the time that I gave you, 12 minutes in total, so you should have done at least four questions. Okay, right, and you should have got those four questions correct. Okay. All right. So question number one says 6 men and 8 boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, while 26 men and 48 boys can do the same piece of work in 2 days. So I can write it like this, that 6 men. I hope you all know the LCM method, because my way of explaining the questions is a question is by LCM method only. So 6 men and 8 boys are able to do a piece of work in 10 days, and 26 men and 48 boys can do the same piece of work in 2 days. This is the question. Okay. Now it has been asked that what time will 15 men and 20 boys together will take to complete the work. Okay. So first of all, we have to assume the total work as the LCM of these two. We have to assume the total work as the LCM of these two, right? 10 and 12. Sorry, 10 and 2. So the LCM would be 10 units, right? So if we assume it very practically, we can assume that in total 10 units of work is to be done, to which the first the first group, 6 men and 8 boys, take 10 days, and 26 men and 48 boys take only 2 days. Okay, so I can say that 6 men and 8 boys, because they are doing 10 units in 10 days, so they will be able to do 1 unit per day. So their efficiency or per day work, efficiency is the per day work. So their efficiency or per day work would be 1 unit per day. And 26 men and 48 boys are able to do this task in 2 days. So their efficiency would be 5 units per day. Okay. Now remember, M is the efficiency of one man and B is the efficiency of one boy. Right. The amount of work done by one man in 1 day is M. So this is the amount of work done by one man in 1 day. This is the amount of work done by 6 men in 1 day. Right. Now this is the amount of work done by one boy in 1 day. This is the amount of work done by 8 boys in 1 day. And if we add all these, this will give you the amount of work done by 6 men and 8 boys in 1 day, which is actually equal to the efficiency of this group, right? So this is equivalent. Okay. Remember, we cannot put this directly equal to 10 and this directly equal to 2, because this is the work and this is the days. So work cannot be equal to days, right? So this is efficiency, work done per day. So they should be equated with this part only, 1 unit. Okay. Now, if we solve this correctly, this part you have to do yourself. That if you solve this correctly, if you solve these two equations correctly, right? So, because you can multiply the first equation by 6, so that this becomes 36 and this becomes 48. So 36 uh, minus 26, 10. 10m equal to 1 and m will be equal to 1 by 10. So from here, you will get the efficiency of one man or the work done per day by one man equal to 1 by 10 units. Right? I hope this is clear. And if you put this 1 by 10 into any of the equation, let's try to put in the first equation. So this would be 6 by 10, which is 3 by 5. 1 minus 3 by 5 would be 2 by 5, and this would be 2 by 5 into 80 means 40. So the value of B would come as 1 by 20, right? I can obviously solve the equation very quickly, but you should try to solve. If you are watching this as a recording, so then you should pause the video and try to solve the equation fully, because you cannot skip the calculations. It's either you are so smart that you can calculate in mind only, or you should try to calculate it with a pen and paper, right? You should not skip these equations. Okay, so the 1 day work of one man is 1 by 10. 1 day work of one boy is 1 by 20 units. Okay. Now, first of all, we have to see that what would be the 1 day work of 15 men and 20 boys all taken together. So 15 men would work would be working 2.5 1.5 units, right, in 1 day, and 20 boys will complete 20 into 1 by 20, this much units per day, right? So this complete would be 1.5 plus 1, so 2.5 units per day. So 15 men and 20 boys would be doing the work at the rate of 2.5 units per day. So if the total work is 10 units, that's what we have assumed. So how much time they will take to complete the work? 4 days, right? 10 units of work is to be done, and 2.5 units per day is the working rate of 15 men and 20 boys. So they will be able to in complete the task in 4 days, right? Okay, so this is the traditional way of solving this question, but let me give you one more smarter way to deal with this, right? Students, one of the smarter way to deal with this question could be to now this would be on your noticing power, on your on the power by which you can look at the question, and you can determine a loose point in that question. Then only you will be able to catch this point. Now, the point is that 6 men and 8 boys can complete a work in 10 days, and 15 men and 20 boys will complete the work in how many days? This is what required. So, as you can see, if 6 men and 88 boys are doing 1 unit per day, right? So, the ratio between men and boys in this equation is 3 by 4, and in the answer also we have been asked a ratio in which an equation in which the ratio is 3 by 4 only, 15 men and 20 boys, right? Now this gives us a huge hint, right? This gives us a hint that you don't actually need the second equation to calculate the data. Okay, you can calculate the data by just by this equation, first equation. Okay, how will you do that? You have got 6 men and 8 boys. You just need to multiply both sides by 2.5. Okay, both sides by 2.5. So 2.5 into 6 will make it 15, and 2.5 into 8 will make it 20. So this will directly come as 2.5 unit per day. And now you need to just divide 10 by 2.5 to get the answer. I hope this is clear. Okay, in case you have any doubt, while you would be watching this recording, if you have any doubt, you can pause, or you can go through the solution once again. Okay, you'll be able to get. Okay, if you are a MBA aspirant, if you're a CAT aspirant, you must be able to get this. Okay, I'm not going into very basics of these questions because you are going for the number one aptitude exam in the country, right? So I expect you to do the equation part, to do these simple calculations, to understand the question, to understand the solution in a better way than the students which may be not aspiring for MBA entrance. Okay. Question number second. It says A is 30% more efficient than B. How much time will they working together take to complete a job which A alone could have done in 23 days? So A alone could have done a complete job in 23 days. We don't know about B. We don't know about B, right? But it is given that A is 30% more efficient than B, right? So if A is 30% more efficient than B, that means that if we talk about their per day work, right? Per day work is called efficiency, correct? So if we talk about their per day work, so if B is doing suppose 10 units per day. If B is doing 10 units per day, then A is 30% more efficient than B. So A must be doing 13 units per day. 30% more than 10 is 13. Okay. So if A is 30% more efficient than B, and we assume that B is doing 10 units per day, then A must be doing 13 units per day. Correct? Okay. So if A is doing 13 units per day and A can complete the work in 23 days, so that means the total work has to be 23 into 13 units, right? Don't try to multiply it till the time you need to calculate the answer by multiplication. Okay. So if A is doing 13 units per day as what we have assumed, right? And it is given in the question that A takes 23 days to complete a certain task, then the total task should be of 23 into 13 units. Correct? And if total work is this much, whatever the number is, if total work is this much and B is doing 10 units per day, right? What do we have to calculate in this? How much time will they working together? Okay. So we actually don't need to calculate how much time B will take alone to complete the job. This is what this is what we don't need to calculate actually. What we need to calculate is if A and B start doing the work together, so how much time they will take to complete the work, right? Now, if they both start working together, so they both would be doing the work at the rate of 13 plus 10, that is 23 units per day, right? This person would be doing 13 units per day and this would be doing 10 units per day. So A and B together will be doing 23 units per day. Okay. And if they both are doing 23 units per day and the total work is this much, 23 into 13, right? So how many days would be taken by both of them to complete the work? Right. So the number of days taken would be this total work 23 into 13 divided by per day work of A and B together 23. So that comes as 13 days, right? So students, just remember till the time it is not mandatory to solve the multiplication, don't multiply, don't divide, don't add, right? Don't solve the equations, don't solve the expressions. Okay, don't raise to the power, do not solve anything, because it may be possible that at the end of the equation everything gets cancelled, like this one, 23 and 23 got cancelled. You don't have to multiply 23 into 13 to get the answer. I hope this is done. Okay, let's go to the question number 3. All right. Question number 3 says A and B can do a piece of work in 30 days, B and C in 24 days, C and A in 20 days. Okay. So if they all work together for 10 days and then B and C leave. Okay. So this is a question of work line, as I say. Okay. Just take the LCM of 30, 24, and 20. Okay. And put that as total work. So the total work would be the LCM of 30, 24, and 20. That would be 120. So I can assume that total work that has to be done is 120 units. Total work that has to be done is 120 units. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now, if A and B are doing the complete work in 30 days, so A plus B, the efficiency of the work per day of A, work per day of B would be equal to 120 by 30, that is 4 units. Right. Then we have B and C completing the work in 24 days. So B plus C has to be 5 units. Then we have C and A completing the work in 20 days. So C plus A has to be 20, sorry, 120 divided by 20, that is 6 units. Okay, now we have to solve these three equations. Now, student, there is a standard way of solving these type of equation in which we have A and B, B and C, and C and A, right? And the method is that you add all of them. You add all of them, right? So on the left hand side, you would be getting 2A plus 2B plus 2C is equal to, right, on right hand side you would be getting 15 units. Okay, so from here you'll get A plus B plus C is equal to 7.5 units. A plus B plus C is equal to 7.5 units. Now we have got the sum of A, B and C all together. Okay, now subtract this equation from this. The major equation is A plus B plus C equal to 7.5. Subtract this equation and you will get the value of B. Subtract the above equation, you will get the value of A. And subtract the first equation, you will get the value of C. Okay. So from here, A would be 7.5 minus 5, this is just 2.5 units per day, right? These are all efficiencies. So we should ideally write units per day, right? But we can write units also. Okay. If we subtract the second equation, we'll get B. No, B will be getting B after when we subtract the third equation. So that would be 1.5 units, right? And if we subtract the second equation, the first equation, we'll get C, which would be 3.5 units. So these are the per day work. Let me write per day also. Per day works of A, B, and C. Now it has been said that for the 10 days, they all actually work together. So for the first 10 days, A, B, and C work together. And A, B, and C in total work at the rate of 7.5 unit per day. A, B, and C in total work for 7.5 units per day, right? So how much work will they be able to do in these 10 days? 75 units at the rate of 7.5 units per day. In 10 days, they would be able to complete 75 units of work. Okay. Now, how much work is remaining to be completed? 120 minus 75. 120 is the total work, 75 is completed. So only 45 units has to be done by A alone, because B and C have now left the job. So A alone has to do this 45 units of work at the rate of this 2.5 units per day. 2.5 units per day. So how long will they take? How long will A take to complete the work? 45 divided by 2.5. So that would come as 18. So this is the answer for question number 3. I hope this is clear. Okay, last two questions. Question number 4. Students, in case because this is a one-way communication, you cannot interact with me, and you may also be watching this video live. This video recorded. So if you're not able to get any of the concept, you can watch it maybe 2, 3, 4 times on loop. Okay. Question number 4. It says a tank is filled by 3 pipes with uniform flow. The first 2 pipes operating simultaneously fill the tank in the same time. Which tank? The tank is filled with third pipe alone. So the time taken by first two pipes to completely fill the tank is equal to the amount taken by third pipe alone to fill the tank. So the efficiency of the first two pipe combinedly is equal to the efficiency of the third pipe. Right? This is an important line. Now, it has also been said that the second pipe fills the tank 5 hours faster than the first. So, suppose first one is taking X number of hours. So, the second one would be taking X minus 5 number of hours. Okay. Because the first pipe is taking X number of hours and second pipe is 5 hours faster than the first pipe. So, second pipe will fill the tank in 5 hours less than the first pipe. And second pipe is 4 hours slower than the third pipe. Second pipe is, yeah. So, second pipe is 4 hours slower than the third pipe. So, whatever the third pipe is, the time that third pipe is taking to completely fill the tank, the second pipe is actually taking 5 more hours, 5 more hours than the third one, right? So the third one would actually take X minus 9 hours, right? So this is the fastest, right? Third pipe is the fastest. Then 4 hours slower is the second, and 5 hours more slower is the first. So this is the case. Okay. Now the first pipe can fill the tank in X hours, second in X minus 5 hours, and third in X minus 9 hours, right? Now we have to calculate the time required by the first pipe. So students, instead of solving it traditional way, we should reach out to options first, because by using the options it would be very easily done, right? Why? Because if the time see, all of them, x minus 5 and x minus 9, all of them have to be positive at least, because this is the time taken by the pipes to fill the tank. So can the value of it, may the value of the first pipe, the time required by the first pipe to fill the tank, can it be equal to 6 hours? No, because if I put 6 here, if x, the value of x is 6, then 6 minus 5 will be 1, and 6 minus 9 would be negative, right? Minus 3. So this is not possible, right? So that means the value of the first pipe at least has to be 10. The value of x has to be at least 10, right? Okay, let's go to the next option. Okay, all right, so next option is 10. Suppose if I put 10 here, so this would be 5 and this would be 1. Okay, so we have to see that is the third pipe is filling the tank in 1 hour. Now, is the first and the second pipe together, are they equal to fill the tank in 1 hour? Are they equal? Are they will they be equal to fill the tank in 1 hour? Right. So if you have done some of the questions of time and work, now you can easily guess that this 10 and 5, uh, if they are working, so they cannot be, less than, they cannot do the work in less than maybe 3 hour, right? You would get a feeling if you have done some of the questions on time and work. If not done, then you would have to do this calculation. This is in hours. First of all, let me write it in hours so that this is not a confusing statement. So we just cross check whether the time taken by first and second tank is equal to 1 hour or not. Okay, So for that, we need to do 1 by 10 plus 1 by 5 and then the reciprocal. Okay. So that has to be 3 by 10, reciprocal of 3 by 10, right? And that would be 10 by 3, 3.33. So first pipe and second pipe together are not able to fill the tank in in the time which the third pipe is taking alone, right? This 33.33 is not equal to 1 hour, na? Right? So that means second option would also be discarded. Now let's see the third option. If we put third option here as 15 hours, so the value of x would be 15 hours, the value of x minus 5 would be 10 hours, and value of x minus 9 would be 6 hours, right? Let's see whether first and second are able to fill the tank in exactly 6 hours to get working together or not. Let's see. So for that, I need to do 1 by 15 plus 1 by 10 and then the reciprocal of this. Okay. So that would be LCM 30. This would be 2 and this would be 3. Reciprocal. Okay. So this would be 30 by 5. Sorry. This would be 5 by 30 or 1 by 6. Reciprocal would be 6 days. Right. Sorry, 6 hours. So that means first and second together are filling the pipe, are filling the tank in exactly the same time as the third pipe alone is filling. Right? So that's the answer. This is the way by which we can solve this. 15 hours would be the answer. So this is just a hit and trial method, which would be a better method to do, because if we try to solve this traditionally, we would have to deal with the variables in x. Okay, we would have to solve the equations in the form of x. So uh, around 20 to 30% MCQs would be done on the basis of multiple choice options only. Okay, you can eliminate the options and calculate the answer. Okay, last question. So last question says three pipes ABC can fill a tank in 6 hours. After working at it for 2 hours, C is closed, and A and B can fill the remaining part in 7 hours. Okay, so it has been said that if A, B, and C, all of them start working together, all of them are opened together, so they would be able to complete they would be able to completely fill the tank in 6 hours. Correct? Now, if after 2 hours C is closed, okay, so C has worked for 2 hours, but then it is closed. So C has not worked for 4 hours. C has not worked for 4 hours, right? And due to this, the time taken by A and B has extended by 3 more hours. Okay? The time taken by A and B has been extended by 3 more hours. I hope you are able to connect to this, right? Suppose A, B, and C start working, right? So on the first day, A, B, and C start working. So first day, all of them are working. Second day, all of them are working, right? If that pattern continued for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth day also, then the task would have finished by this line, right? If the task line would have continued like this, then the task would have been finished at this point. Okay, so out of this grid, C has left after 2 days. So that means for C, 4 days of work is 4 days of work is was not completed on time. 4 days of work was not completed on time. And due to the completion of this work, the work of 4 days for C, the A and B took 7 hours, 7 hours more to complete the work. So that means after 2 days, they have taken 7 more hours to complete the work. So four is done, and 3 more hours they have taken. So 7, 8, and 9, on 7th and 8th and 9th day, they have worked. A and B have worked. So if see now we can equate, we can apply the logic inside our mind, and we can equate that the work that was to be done by C in the 4 days, these 4 days, was done by A, B, and C in these 3 days, right? Okay, so that means the work done by C in 3 days is equal to work done by A and B together in 4 days, right? This is what we can assume, right? Okay, so now let's calculate the total work. Suppose the work done by C in 3 days and the work done by A and B in 4 days. Suppose I take it as X units, right? The work done by C in 3 days and the work done by A and B in 4 days, because both are equal. So we can assume it as X unit. We can assume them as X units. Okay. Okay. So how many number? Okay. So it is asking that if C alone does the work, then how long will it take? Okay. So if this is X units, so let's calculate the total work. So total work would be uh, the work done by C in 3 days into 2, right? Because for total work to be completed, I have to make C work for 6 days, and I have to make A and B work for 6 days. Okay, so if C works for 6 days, the amount of work that would be completed by C would be 2x units, right? 2x units. I am just trying to find out the total work that has to be done. So because C is working for 6 days, and in 3 days C is able to complete X units. So in 6 days C would be able to do 2x units, plus A and B are able to complete X units in 4 days, but to completely do the work, to completely do the total work, they must work for 6 days. Okay. So 4 days, in 4 days, they complete X units. So in 6 days, they would be completing 1.5x units. They would be completing 1.5x units. So 2x units plus 1.5x units. 1.5x units, right? So this is the total work. How much? 3.5x units. So this is the total work. I hope this is clear, students. Right? Because A and B are working for 6 days. So this X should be multiplied by factor 1.5. And because C is also working for 6 days, so because the work done by C in 3 days is given as X, so it should also be multiplied by 2. So 2 into X units and 1.5 into X units should make it total work that has to be done. Now, if this complete work would have been done by C alone, if this complete work would have been done by C alone, okay? So in 3 days, C is able to do X units of work, right? In 3 days, C is able to do X units of work. So to complete 3.5 X units of work, C would be requiring 3.5 into 3 days, right? Just a second. What have I missed here? The number of hours taken by C alone to fill the tank. Something wrong I have done, I think. In 3 days, C is able to do X units, and A and B, because they are doing X units of work in 4 days, so they should multiply this by 1.5. So 3.5 is the total amount of work, right? And in 3 days, C is doing X units. The number of hours, just a second. 3 pipes can fill a tank in 6 hours. If A and B working at it, it's taken by C alone to fill the tank. The number of hours taken by C alone to fill the tank. Let's try to do this question once again, because I think we are making some silly mistake. Okay, let's try it again. Three pipes are there, A, B, and C, which can fill a tank in 6 hours, which can completely fill a tank in 6 hours. After working after working at it together for 2 hours. So for the first 2 hours, they are actually working together. Now C is closed. A and B can fill the remaining part in 7 hours. Okay, so ideally, if they would have worked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, if they all would have worked for these 6 days, they would have completely filled the tank. Right, the tank would have been completely filled. But due to the absence of C in these 4 days, the work got extended to 7, 8, and ninth day also. 4 days here and 3 days more, seventh, 8, and 9. So they would be doing 3 more days of work. So the work done of C in 4 days is equivalent to work done by 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got my mistake. The work done by C in 4 days. This is 4 days. I took it as 3 days. That was the mistake that I was doing. So work done by C in 4 days is equal to work done by A and B together in 3 days. Okay. Now let us assume this work done is equal to X units, right? X units. So work done by C in 4 days is X units. So work done by C in 6 days would be 1.5 X units. So if we want to calculate the total work that would be done by these things, yeah. So C was taking 4 days to complete X units, right? So in 6 days he will be able to complete 1.5x units, and A and B were doing the same units of work, x units, in 3 days. So in 6 days A and B together would be able to do 2x units. So the total work would be 3.5x units. Total work would be 3.5x units, and C takes 4 days to complete x units. So how many days C will take to complete 3.5x units? So the number of days taken by C to complete the total 3.5x units of work would be 3.5 into 4, that is 14, right? So 14 days would be the answer. Okay. So students, if you're actually if you want to prepare very well for CAT, because see, when I actually solved this question, the question number 5, I didn't wrote anything. It was all everything in my mind. You should be able to figure out that C was not working for 4 days, and for that A and B were made to work for 3 more days. So this all should come in your mind. This was not to be written every time. This was not to be written every time, right? So this complete calculation should have been done in your mind only, right? Maybe you can write this part, total and the division, but you should not try to write these lines, right? These all things you should have done in your mind, right? May not be now, but you should make it a habit. When you will solve at least 50, 60, or maybe 100 questions of this type, you would surely be able to calculate everything in mind. Okay. All right. So that's it from my side, students. See you in the next live class. Till then, bye bye. Good night. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Bye bye.